Mr. Lips, I'd like to take a moment to clarify something for the record here. The committee, you and the Republicans on this committee have said that 96% of children impacted by the proposed rule will still be able to participate in free and reduced price meal. However, according to the Department's analysis that we got last night, of the nearly 1 million children who will lose their direct certification for free school meals, only 45% will continue to be eligible for free school meals after they fill out the individual application. And there's all sorts of issues with that. 51% will only be eligible for reduced price meal. That's 30 cents for breakfast, 40 cents for lunch, and 4% will have to pay the full price. Filling out individual applications, as has been recognized earlier, is a huge burden for schools and families that the department did not account for, and some eligible children undoubtedly will fall through the cracks. This is a preventable disaster. For the 51% of impacted students who will only be eligible for reduced price meal, paying 40 cents for lunch, 30 cents for breakfast can be an enormous financial burden for families. Children who qualify for reduced price meals are between 130 and 180% of the federal poverty level. For a family of four, think about that. That's an income for a family of four between $33,455 and $51,000. In my home state of Nevada, approximately 1,300 students will lose their access to school meals because of the community elimination of the CEP. And you know, this is at a time when we are wrestling with increasing, widening income disparities, and we have so many families and children struggling with food insecurity. In your written testimony, you stated that you talked about the importance the USDA gives to good customer service, and that comes from listening to customers. So I want to start off and ask you several yes and no questions. First of all, did you consider any input from any of these families before the administration released this rule, essentially eliminating their eligibility?
Congresswoman, it's important to recall that this rule is about a refinement of SNAP, broad-based categorical eligibility.
I understand. Did you consider any input from these families?
We drafted this rule based on the needs of the SNAP program and not child nutrition standards, which this committee sets in statute.
Okay, so that's a no. Does the department think that children of these families do not need free school meals?
Congresswoman, this committee decides who should get free and reduced price meals. It's our job to carry that out. There's a discussion to be had if y'all want to change those as part of child nutrition reauthorization. This agency,
well, you're changing. Okay,
technical assistance to assist you with that.
Let me clarify. You're changing the rule because of a report of one person who qualified for SNAP that was wealthy, thereby affecting millions of children across this country. Does the department think that children in these families whose income are between this do not need free school meals?
Congresswoman, again, Congress makes that decision on who qualifies for free school meals and reduced price school meals, and we carry that out.
Okay. With nearly 1 million, again, this was just updated, losing access, do you think it's reasonable to conclude that child food insecurity will increase or decrease?
Congresswoman, 96% of those continue to qualify under the standards provided in statute, and we don't know what those numbers are going to show.
Well, I understand, but I think I want to, as I clarified earlier, 51% of impacted students now may have to pay. Other students will fall through the cracks because of not knowing about the application or not properly filling it out. So my question, yes or no, do you believe it will increase food insecurity for children?
I don't have an answer to that, Congresswoman, at this time. We can certainly look at that as we move forward, and if you think those standards need to be different, we will certainly be available to provide technical assistance on changing them.
Okay, well, thank you. Before I end, I'd like to enter into the record a letter from Abby Liebman, president of Maison. clarifying the impacts that this rule change will have on senior, veterans, Native Americans, and rural Americans.